What's up guys, my name is Ryan and I spent the last several years exploring the country of Italy and I want to share with you my favorite places and experiences, so here's my Italy top 25. I have to say that there is no other country on earth that has more history and natural beauty than Italy. From the crystal clear waters of Sardinia to the enchanting landscapes of the Dolomites, Italy has it all. Let's start this video off at the Amalfi Coast. I have to say that this is one of the most beautiful places, not just in Italy, but all of Europe. The Amalfi Coast is located in southern Italy, about a 3-hour drive from Rome, and it's just hard to believe that this place actually exists. One of the most famous places on the Amalfi Coast is Positano. It's this town full of beautiful colored buildings and a scenic beach. One of my favorite things to do in Positano and the Amalfi Coast was getting on a boat. It's a perfect way to escape the crowds and you'll get the best views of Positano. Now another one of my favorite places on the Amalfi Coast is Fiordo di Furore. This is easily one of the coolest beaches I've ever been to. It's located in this little fjord complemented with an incredible arch bridge. I really wanted to go here because there's this place to cliff jump. I had such a fun time sending some flips into the sea. Now afterwards, we're going to visit the nearby island of Capri. Located on the western end of the Amalfi Coast, you can reach Capri by taking a ferry from places such as Positano or Sorrento. I think Capri is one of those beautiful islands in the world. It's a classic Mediterranean island surrounded by crystal clear waters. One of my favorite features of the island is the Fariglione. It's an impressive sea stack that juts out of the sea. If you do go to Capri, I definitely recommend renting a boat. That'll be the best way to see the island and find its hidden grottos and jaw-dropping coast. Afterwards, we're going to visit the island of Sardinia. With some of Europe's best coastline, pristine beaches, and the clearest water you've ever seen, Sardinia is the place to be. One of the most impressive places on Sardinia is the Bologna coast. It's 40 kilometers of coastline that are made up of massive limestone cliffs and secluded beaches. The Bologna coast isn't the easiest place to reach. Most places require a hike or a boat ride. The main reason I wanted to go to Sardinia and the Bologna coast was to visit Calabria. I think it's easily one of the most beautiful beaches in all of Italy. It has these massive pointy rock formations coupled with green cliffs and Gatorade blue water. To get there, you can either boat or also hike. I've done both and each have its own pros and cons. Hiking in wasn't too difficult, it was a moderate hike and it was amazing once we got down to the beach. Boating is also a great option. It can be expensive to rent a boat and you really can't relax on the beach unless you have a skipper who watches over the boat while you swim. So those are definitely some things to consider. When we boated in, it took about 45 minutes to reach Calabria. We anchored the boat and immediately went for a swim. The visibility was incredible. It was some of the best I've ever swam in. Another reason I wanted to go here is because there's a sea arch where you can cliff jump. I sent a few jumps off of it and it was just so much fun. There's no better feeling than sending a gainer into the sea. After Sardinia, we're going to go to northern Italy to visit the Dolomites. I spent several weeks exploring these mountains and I consider it to be some of the greatest days of my life. The Dolomites are home to jagged peaks, scenic alpine lakes, and fairy tale villages. One of my favorite mountains in the Dolomites is Sicily. It's one of the most uniquely shaped mountains I've ever seen. To get there, you take up a gondola, and once you're up at the top, you can walk around. The mountain doesn't even look real, and it's often covered by clouds. Another one of my favorite places in the Dolomites is Alpe d'Huez. It's the largest alpine meadow in Europe, and the scenery here is straight out of Middle Earth. Now to get to Alpe d'Huez, I drove to the town of Campaccio, and from there we walked to the famous viewpoint. The day I was there, the famous Sassolungo mountain was covered in clouds, but on a clear day, this place looks like a scene straight out of a dream. One of the most iconic places in the Dolomites is Cime di Lavaredo. To set of 3 massive rock pillars that tower over the landscape. When I was here, I wanted to see the sunrise, so me and my buddy George woke up at 5:30 a.m. and hiked to this vantage point. We made it to the top right when the sun was starting to rise over the peaks. I was out of breath because we just climbed up the mountain, but I was able to experience one of the most incredible sunrises of my life. I felt so alive. Moments like this is what travel is all about. While we're still in northern Italy, we're going to visit Lake Como. Located at the base of the Alps, Lake Como is a sight to see. Known for its picturesque scenery and luxury villas, Lake Como has been named one of the world's most beautiful lakes, and I totally understand why. One of my favorite places on the lake is Varenna. It was founded in 1769 by local fishermen. We stayed here several nights and it was such an enjoyable time. I loved exploring the town through all the cobblestone alleyways. One of my favorite places in Varenna was its northern shore. There's restaurants and a little stone beach where you can watch small waves roll in. One of my favorite things that I did was enjoy the sunset on the docks. This place truly is incredible. After exploring the Alps, let's head over to the iconic city of Venice. Located in northeastern Italy, Venice is one of the world's most unique cities. There are no roads, just canals to get around. It's made up of 118 islands that are linked by over 400 bridges. Venice was a major financial and maritime power during the Middle Ages, and today it's one of Europe's most popular tourist destinations. When you're there, you can take a ride down the canals on a gondola, or you can check out the St. Mark's Square. It's a one-of-a-kind location, definitely worth visiting. Another beautiful town is nearby Burano. Like Venice, it's a town built upon this island in the Venetian lagoon. I love all the colorful painted houses throughout Burano. Also, the bell tower is another notable feature of the island. It was built in the 17th century and it has a slight lean. Now afterwards, we're going to visit Lake Garda, located right between Venice and Milan. Lake Garda is the largest lake in Italy. I drove around it and I can attest that it's absolutely huge. It's sandwiched between two mountains and it's home to numerous towns along its coast. The southern end is home to the Castello Scagliero. Built in the 14th century, it stands as one of Italy's best preserved castles. My favorite feature is its fortified dock, which offered shelter to Venetian fleets. Another fascinating nearby destination is the Madonna della Corona. It's this church that's built right on the side of a cliff. The church was constructed all the way back in 1530. To get to the chapel, you can park in the town above and make this short walk down. Italy is just full of the world's most scenic churches. After, we're going to visit Bologna. Located about a 2-hour drive from Venice, Bologna is one of the wealthiest cities in Italy and the 7th most populous, with a population around 400,000. What I love about Bologna is its medieval towers. They were constructed back in the 12th century, with the tallest being 300 feet high. Back in medieval times, there was an estimated 180 towers which dominated the city. Over the centuries, many towers were demolished or just simply collapsed, and today 20 towers remain. The most famous are the two towers. They were constructed about 900 years ago by two competing families to see which one was more powerful. The tallest tower stands 97 meters with an overhang of 2.2 meters. I'm just so happy that these towers remain today, and it's definitely worth coming to Bologna to see them. After, we're going to head to Italy's capital of Rome. Now, Rome may be one of the most famous and iconic cities in the world. Its history spans over 28 centuries, and its founding took place in 753 BC. Ancient Rome's architecture stands today, and it draws millions of tourists each year. One of the most well-known structures of the capital is the Colosseum. It's this oval-shaped structure that was completed in 80 AD. It was the largest amphitheater built and could hold anywhere from 50 to 80,000 spectators. You can marvel at its architecture from the outside or take a guided tour to witness its interior. Another one of my favorite attractions in Rome is the Trevi Fountain. It's a Baroque-styled fountain that was built in 1762. There's just so much to see in Rome. I hope you can all experience it someday. While we're still in the area, we're going to head over to the smallest country in the world to visit the Vatican City. Completely surrounded by Rome, the Vatican is the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church and home to the Pope. The population is made up of around 800 people. It was founded 90 years ago on February 11, 1929. The St. Peter's Basilica is possibly the most magnificent building in the world. It's the world's largest church, and when you go inside, the detail is absolutely mind-blowing. Construction began in 1506 and it was consecrated 120 years later. After, we're going to leave the city to head to Italy's coastal region of Puglia. Located in the boot hill of southern Italy, Puglia is famous for its medieval towns and world-class beaches. We got to spend some time here this last summer, and it quickly became one of my favorite regions in Italy. One of the most famous places in Puglia is Polignano and Mare. It's a seaside town that is built right on these 20-meter high sea cliffs. The city's history dates back to the 4th century BC, and it really began to flourish in the 11th century thanks to olive oil. Today, it's a popular city, especially during the summertime. I'd say the most well-known spot is the Lama Monachile Beach. It's located in this gorge, and to get down, it's a pretty easy walk. But I will say it was absolutely packed, so if you do come, arrive early in the morning or in the evening to avoid the crowds. While we're still in Puglia, we're going to visit the hilltop town of Alberobello. Located about 30 minutes from Polignano, I'd say this is another one of the most famous places in the region. It's known for its white houses with beehive-shaped roofs, which are known as trulli. The area was founded around the 1600s, and the trulli houses were built as a response to heavy taxes on permanent structures, so as a result, the trulli were built without mortar so they could be quickly dismantled if needed. I mean, talk about some medieval tax evasion. Today, the trulli of Alberobello are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And while we were here, I enjoyed walking through the city's alleyways. There's just so many trulli houses. I mean, it would be so cool to live in one. After we're going to head to Puglia's northern region to visit Gargano. Located on the spur of Italy's boot, about a 2.5 hours drive from Bari, Gargano is home to very different scenery compared to the rest of Puglia. There's white sea cliffs and lush scenery, and it's just such a beautiful area. One of the main reasons I wanted to come here was to visit the Spiaggia Vinanotica. Located on Gargano's coast, Spiaggia Vinanotica is this incredible area dwarfed over by these massive white cliffs that are just like right on the beach. Walking in, you really appreciate the size and scale of the cliffs. We had such a good time swimming here. The water was so clear and there were just so many rocks. We tried to do some underwater running. We explored the beach and then found some other secluded areas and little sea caves. Overall, this was such an incredible place and one of my favorite beaches from the trip. If you keep heading up the coast of Gargano, you'll reach Vieste. It's a decent sized town and the scenery here was beautiful. There was a massive beach leading up to Vieste and the town was very scenic. I love this massive rock monolith that stuck out right on the main beach next to Vieste. I wish I could have spent some more time exploring this region. After, we're going to visit the ancient city of Matera. Located in the region of Basilicata, you may recognize this town from the James Bond film. Matera is known all around the world for its unique cave dwellings and striking architecture. It's believed that Matera was founded over 9,000 years ago, making it one of the third oldest continuously inhabited settlements in the world. During the late 1800s, Matera suffered from poverty and poor living conditions, and it was evacuated in 1952, and it stayed abandoned until the 1980s, where it was revived as a tourist attraction. While we were here, we enjoyed walking through the alleyways. The buildings just look endless on the horizon, and they have such a unique vibe and color to them. We were here only in the evening, and I would love to spend at least a day or two exploring this historical city. There's just so much to do and see in this part of Italy. Afterwards, we're going to visit the region of Calabria. Located right on Italy's toe, Calabria is home to some of the country's best beaches and coastal towns. One of the most beautiful places in Calabria is Capo Vaticano. It's these incredible coastal cliffs with rock-like fingers that dip into the sea. It's full of beaches and difficult to access coasts, perfect for snorkeling or boating. Some other amazing places in Calabria include Arco Magno. It's this hidden beach with an arch that leads into the sea. Another one of my favorite places in the region is Tropea. I think it's one of the most underrated towns in Italy. It's perched upon a cliff overlooking the Tyrrhenian Sea. Legends say that the city was founded by Hercules. Today it has been named one of Italy's most beautiful villages, and I can totally understand why. While you're there, you can relax on the beach and marvel at the contrast between the sea and the buildings on the cliff's edge. Afterwards, we're going to head to the island of Sicily. Located in the southeastern part of Italy, Sicily is the largest island in the Mediterranean. One of my favorite cities on the island is Cefalù. Located about an hour's drive from Palermo, Cefalù was first mentioned back in 396 BC, and today it's one of Sicily's most well-known towns. One of my favorite things about Cefalù was at sunset, the lights hit the town perfectly, giving it an orange glow. While we were here, I loved chilling on the beach and admiring the town's architecture. Strolling back through the town's alleyways made me feel like I was walking in Italy from a different era. After, we're going to visit Taormina. Located on the eastern side of Sicily, Taormina is this incredible hilltop town full of Italian charm and history. The town was founded around ancient Greek times and has been a popular getaway since the 19th century. I had a great time walking the alleyways and streets of the town. I really liked the main piazza. It had this really beautiful white and black checkered pattern and was overlooked by a beautiful church. One of the main reasons I wanted to visit Taormina was to see the Isola Bella, also called the Pearl of the Ionian Sea. Isola Bella is this beautiful island located right below Taormina. You can get there by taking a gondola from the town if you don't want to make the hike. Once you get down to the bay, you'll find a nice beach, perfect for some Mediterranean sunbathing. I had a good time just walking around and checking out the area. After, we're going to head to Mount Etna. With a height of 3,357 meters, Mount Etna is the highest active volcano in Europe. When we were there, we drove as high as we could on the volcano. From there, you can take up a gondola to the higher part, and then you take these special cars even higher. I am mad at myself because we got there right around 4:30, and that's when the lift closed. Instead, we decided to hike around some of the craters by the parking lot. It's just hard to comprehend how massive this volcano is. After, we're going to leave Sicily's mainland to visit the Aeolian Islands. We sailed around these islands for a week, and it was a phenomenal time. The Aeolian Islands are an archipelago made up of 7 inhabited islands located off of Sicily's northern coast. The islands were created by volcanic activity, and as a result, they have some of the most bizarre landscapes, and they are home to 2 of Italy's 4 active volcanoes. Now, to get around the Aeolian Islands, there's several ways to go about it. You can take a ferry from the town of Milazzo, or you can experience them by sailboat. The The most epic island on the archipelago is probably Stromboli. It's nicknamed the lighthouse of the Mediterranean, and at night you can see lava shooting out the top. We took the boat to the northern side of the island to get the best view of the volcano. Another one of my favorite islands was Panarea. It's the smallest of the Aeolian Islands, but had so much charm. I loved all the whitewashed houses. It reminded me of a Greek island. There was also these huge sea cliffs. I just couldn't believe how huge they were. And there was also this little island off of Panarea that had these volcanic sea bubbles that we snorkeled in, and was just so much fun. I love the Aeolian Islands so much, and I couldn't recommend them enough. Afterwards, we're going to visit another Italian island called Ponza. Before going there, I had no idea this place existed, but after seeing some videos of it, I had to see it in person. It's located off the west coast of Italy, and we took a 2-hour ferry ride to get there. Ponza is full of history. It was a popular island during Roman times with many ruins and tunnels that still exist today. One of the best ways to see Ponza is by boat. We rented one and cruised around the whole island. I was just baffled by the volcanic cliffs and endless coves and grottos. One of my favorite memories of the island was just anchoring this little cove and spending hours swimming and enjoying the Mediterranean sun. One of the most famous places on the island is Chaia di Luna Beach. It's known for its massive white cliffs and beach shaped like a crescent moon. You can get there by boat, or there's also this ancient Roman tunnel that you can walk through. I just couldn't believe how big the cliffs were. Ponza is such a special island. After, we're going to head back to mainland Italy to visit the Italian Riviera. Also known as the region of Liguria, the Italian Riviera is a small crescent-shaped region that extends to France. The very end of the Italian Riviera is Cinque Terre. Now, Cinque Terre is made up of 5 seaside villages that date back to medieval times. Now, to get there, you can't drive to the towns of Cinque Terre, but you can take a train from Spezia. Now, my favorite village in the area is Varenna. It has the only natural port of Cinque Terre, and it remains one of the truest fishing villages on the Italian Riviera. I definitely don't recommend coming here in August. That's when I was here and it was just beyond packed, so maybe come during the off season. Another one of my favorite towns on the Cinque Terre is Matera. I really enjoyed walking around its many paths in the town. You can get some great vantage points of the area. One thing I really liked about Matera is that it had this great area to swim. It's sheltered from the waves, and there were some rocks you could cliff jump from. While we're still in the Italian Riviera, we're going to visit Portofino. This is one of the most idyllic towns on the Italian coast. It's renowned for its picturesque harbor and has been a retreat for royalty and artists as far back as the 12th century. I tried to go here during peak summer, but I got turned back because there was no parking, so definitely recommend coming here during the less popular months or early in the morning. Regardless, it's a beautiful place that deserves a visit. After, we're going to head to the incredible region of Tuscany. Located in central Italy, Tuscany is known for its landscapes, history, and artistic legacy. I've been obsessed with Tuscany ever since I've seen The Gladiator. It's a land full of rolling hills, dotted with countless hilltop towns. Now, one of my favorite cities in Tuscany is San Gimignano. Located about an hour's drive from Florence, San Gimignano is a stunning medieval city perched upon a hill. One of the most iconic features of the city is its medieval watchtowers. Currently, there are 14 watchtowers still standing, but during its prime, there were over 72 towers, with the highest being over 230 feet tall. The towers were built as a result of competing families who wanted to build the tallest and most grand tower. I can't believe how it must have looked back then. I guess you could say it was the Manhattan of the Middle Ages. San Gimignano flourished until 1348 when the plague of Black Death struck the town, which resulted in killing half the population. Thankfully, San Gimignano's medieval vibe has been untouched throughout time and has become one of the most popular medieval locations in Italy. It was so much fun walking through the city, you literally felt like you were going back in time. For our final destination, we're going to visit the iconic city of Florence. I have to say that Florence is my favorite city in all of Italy. It's considered to be the birthplace of the Renaissance, and it was the most important political, cultural, and economical city in Europe and the world during that time. The history of this city is endless, and without its influence, our world would probably be very different today. Now, one thing that makes Florence magical is that almost the entire city is made up of medieval buildings, which really transports you back in time. One of the most impressive sights in Florence is the Duomo. And when you look at it, you just can't believe how big it is. It was completed in 1436, and it just amazes me that they were able to engineer such a big dome so long ago. The people of Florence sure dreamt big. The Ponte Vecchio Bridge is another historic site. It's where the famous poet Dante encountered his love Beatrice, and also was the only bridge on the Arno River that wasn't destroyed in World War II. The Palazzo Vecchio is another site you gotta see. Now, to get the best view of all Florence, I recommend you go to the Piazzale Michelangelo. You'll be able to get panoramic views of the city, I mean, I just can't say enough good things about Florence. You're gonna fall in love with this enchanting city. Well, that is it for my Italy top 25. I love this country so much, and you could just spend your whole life exploring it. Let me know where your favorite place is in Italy in the comments below. I made an even longer video Italy of its top 100 places that you can also watch. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at shirley.films. It's Ryan, and we will see you later.